concrete, crab cakes. Miles the Monster. That means we are in the first state at Dover, Delaware for iRacing. But oh, last weekend, Talladega, what a show it was. Welcome to the fastest speedway on earth from Talladega Super Speedway.
Doing my little grid walk to the sim rig. No distractions as I get into this rig. Okay, maybe just a few distractions.
Nervous. Green, green, green.
Whoa, Jeff Gordon up in the air, flipping 7 times.
No!
Ricky!
No! Are you in it? Yeah, he got me. Yes!
Hey, my screen just went black. The light's not on. Did someone hit the remote?
You got booted out, Denny.
Here we go. It all comes down to this.
Here we go. Dillon gets turned and to the line. Alex Bowman is your winner.
Well, how about that? Somehow I won a iRace. We'll take it. See y'all later.
Alex Bowman, the winner in Talladega. And when I introduced Jeff and Clint last week as double trouble, I had no idea what that would lead to.
Sure you did, Mike.
Welcome to the NASCAR Pro Invitational Racing Series on iRacing. And here we are in the Steve Burns studio at Fox Network Center, Charlotte. I'm Mike Joy, and I'm very happy to have our Hall of Famer, Jeff Gordon, back in studio with us this week.
Mike, I'm glad to be back here because we're going to Dover, the Monster Mile. Talladega was a blast. Love being out there with those competitors. But, man, this track can just eat you up. And here, it wouldn't be a Dover race without the man himself, Jimmie Johnson, participating in it. But you see those high-banked corners. This place is fast and it's treacherous. That's why they call it the Monster Mile.
Now, we didn't tell Clint he had to take the weekend off, but he took the weekend off. Might have run out of beer. I don't know, but Regan Smith has jumped into the breach and is going to sit in and be our in-race analyst. Good luck.
Mike, I can confirm, based on how my morning went, that there's a high likelihood Clint did run out of beer. When I got here this morning, I anticipated practicing, getting some laps in, doing a little bit of racing. Instead, I had to clean up after Clint's mess. Clint, you left beer cans everywhere. There was debris everywhere. We had to vacuum it up. I definitely don't appreciate that, but certainly looking forward to what's about to happen here today.
Well, I would say normally, Regan, you got big shoes to fill, but maybe not after Boyer's night. How's it going? What do we have to look forward to with you behind the wheel this weekend?
Well, I feel pretty good about things, Jeff. The practice, I'm not an iRacer. I don't do a lot of this, and practice went pretty smooth. You see right there that I'm holding a nice, smooth, steady line. I basically did what I needed to do to learn as much as I could and figure this race car out. This track drives just like Dover does in real life. It's very challenging. It's going to be tough. If there's a wreck, it's going to be very difficult for guys to miss it, and I can't wait.
Now, hold on, Regan. This is the TV world. Not everything was this smooth. What happened here?
Well, you see, we had a little problem there, and, I'd like to blame that on Brad Keselowski. I think that was his fault. He was sitting in the middle of the racetrack.
Well, you did have a brake pedal, right?
Yeah, I had that same brake pedal that you had last week at Talladega in Turn 3 when you ended up in the catch fence there. This isn't as easy as it looks. This stuff's way tougher than people think.
Yeah, that doesn't work well when you're riding on the roof of another car. Well, that leaves us one reporter out and about in the field. Let's go up to Iredell County and Michael Waltrip.
Thanks, Mike. I've made my way up to Kurt Busch's shop. We're in Mooresville, North Carolina. There's the driver of the Monster Energy Chevy. Kurt, how's it going?
Things are good. It's nice to have you guys here, and it's good to be ready to race Sunday morning.
Well, we're going iRacing today, but you know now NASCAR's back on May 17th at Darlington. Does that change your approach to today's race? Are you going to be more serious because of that?
Nah, I mean, I've approached every Sunday where if I put my shoes on, I got my gloves, and I'm like in Sunday race mode. But yes, Darlington, Charlotte, getting back to the regular Cup car, I'm stoked. So finally, the iRacing thing hasn't gone as good as I thought it was going to go, but I've been giving it my best.
What about your new teammate? It was announced this week that Matt Kenseth is going to join you. 2 veterans back together.
That's huge. Awesome choice by Ganassi to have Kenseth and I as past champions, but also friends from back in our Roush day. We're going to push each other. I mean, I was on the phone with him, hadn't talked to him for years, and it was just like we hadn't missed a beat with making fun of each other and already planning on who's going to beat who at what track.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching you two make championship runs in 2020. Thanks for having me up to your shop. This is beautiful. Got the race on Fox Sports 1 in the background. A couple of animals up on the wall, and rigged up and ready to go racing.
It's my man's land. I'm glad that you came by, and I'm glad we got to show this to everybody. This is kind of where I go, and peace out.
Right on. Mike Joy, take it away.
I think Jeff spotted a jackalope up there on the wall.
I think I saw one or two, Mike, maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh, my granddad used to send me those postcards all the time from Wyoming. Wow. We're going to stay in the Northeast and go up to Connecticut and join the host of Sports Spectrum podcast, Jason Romano, with our invocation.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all that you have done for us, the maker, the giver of life. And God, you have given us a great gift today with this event. We pray for all that are involved. And Lord, during this uncertain time when all of us aren't sure exactly of what the future holds, Lord, let us press into you, remembering that you hold the future and that we can put our faith and trust in you and you alone. Lord, we pray for all of those affected by COVID-19 during this time. Lord, we pray for healing. We pray for strength. God, for the doctors and the people on the front lines, we pray for wisdom. We pray for peace. God, we pray for comfort. We love you so much, Lord. We thank you for this time. Pray a special blessing on this event, and we give all of this to you in your name. Amen.
Fresh off a successful run in London's West End, starring in Dolly Parton's hit show 9 to 5, the musical, here is triple platinum recording artist David Hasselhoff with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Stay strong.
Today's virtual flyover is the 23rd Fighter Group from Moody Air Force Base in Georgia, piloting A-10C Thunderbolt 2s over Dover International Speedway and the Delmarva Peninsula.
How cool is that? That's the way to start a race.
Somebody's going to eat some concrete. Me, I prefer crab cakes. Dover, iRacing, next on Fox. Welcome back to iRacing from Dover, Delaware, on the Monster Mile, where you have a chance to win cash during today's iRace. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app, correctly pick how 6 drivers will finish, and you could win up to $5,000, even in New Jersey. Welcome aboard. And here are today's odds, provided by Fox Bet. No surprise, William Byron, Timmy Hill, and Denny Hamlin, fastest qualifier up there, and Regan, you made the odds sheet.
I got to tell you, Mike, I think they're being generous at 15,000 to 1 even right there. I might put a little money on that at that number.
Regan, I was going to say, after watching you in practice, those odds were not right. You're way better than that. And then you went to qualify, and I said, okay, yeah, maybe they knew what they were talking about.
You know what he's got? He's got Dick May odds. Dick May always said if they have a 39-car pileup on the first lap, he's got a shot to win it.
I promise I'll be in that pileup.
Well, there's that.
Don't do that.
All right, let's welcome a 5-time CMA Male Vocalist of the Year with 27 #1 singles. Here's today's command.
Hey everybody, I'm Blake Shelton in the middle of nowhere in a place called Oklahoma. And I got one thing to say. Gentlemen, start your engines!
Well done. Dick May was a journeyman driver from Watertown, New York, who one day at Dover, everybody liked Dick May as a sub driver. His car broke. He got in another car. It broke. He drove 5 different cars.
Different cars?
In one 500-mile race at Dover, and the last one gave out about 12 laps from the finish.
Oh, man. Well, you got to give him a lot of credit for that effort.
Absolutely. All right, let's check with our race strategist, Larry McReynolds, see how this is going to roll.
Well, Mike, last week was Talladega, and that's where you have the big one. To the contrary, I know this is only a 1-mile track. I can almost guarantee you a big one today, maybe even more than one. Let's take a look at our U.S. Census race analysis. 150 laps, 150 miles, fuel window, 80 to 84 laps, tire window, a little less, 60 to 70 laps. Pit road, a very tight pit road, 35 miles per hour, 1 reset per driver, and a fixed setup which truly evaluates iRacing experience. And Mike, as I've told you many times, but more so today, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, we're going Dover racing.
What's the over-under on cautions, Larry?
Well, I would go over, and just go to the virtual casino and continue to bet over.
All right, the fastest 10 drivers in qualifying have been inverted. Ross Chastain, 10th fastest. So here's how they are scheduled to line up. Now, Alex Bowman, Corey LaJoie, and Ryan Preece, the top 3 finishers from last week, have to go to the tail end of the field.
Yeah, and you saw right there, Denny Hamlin and John Hunter Nemechek were the top 2 fastest, so coming from a few rows back. Regan Smith coming from row 15 alongside Kurt Busch. Ryan Preece, Alex Bowman, Cole Custer, these guys, Tyler Reddick. Watch for Ryan Preece to come up through there. Remember, he was one of our top 3 from last week in Talladega. So Ryan Preece is a guy who hasn't won one of these events. He's going to have his work cut out for him coming from the back, but he's certainly capable.
All right, beneath the Monster Bridge, we're between turns 3 and 4, and we're coming to green for 150 laps on the Monster Mile. Barney, the flagman, at the ready. And here we go on the Monster Mile. Green flag. We're underway. Ross Chastain into turn 1.
Now watch for this track to really funnel down to a single file line around the bottom. The quick way is right around the bottom. You can get stuck in that outside lane and go backwards. So I expect these guys to get single file as soon as they get to turn 3, which most of them have done. See that elevation. There's a lot of great camera angles that we get on iRacing. You see that elevation changes as these cars pick up that banking and come up onto the straightaway, how it climbs up a hill. That's where the back of the car will get real loose, maybe send the car out into the wall.
Jeff, how long is it going to take here before, say, tire wear becomes a factor?
Yeah, I talked to a lot of guys, and they said when you get about lap 20, it's like falling off of a cliff, how much the not only the drop off in speed, but just how much the handling changes. So if a caution comes out here, this concrete track and the tire modeling that iRacing has, it really eats up those tires. So I expect any cautions here, which these guys have impressed me so far. I don't want to say it too soon, Mike, but impressed me with the laps that they've made without making contact and bringing out a caution. But look for them to be on pit road pretty early on when those cautions do happen.
Hamlin with the move underneath Christopher Bell, and Denny moves up to 9th place. You're on board with William Byron in 7th.
I just, every time I see these shots, and here you see William Byron, just how focused these guys are. They never blink.
You know, guys, one thing that adds to the lack of grip, this is a 1-mile track, and iRacing models everything about NASCAR. This is that low downforce aero package, so not a lot of grip even on fresh tires.
Parker Kligerman, our new leader. Timmy Hill as Chastain slips back to 3rd. You're on board with Kligerman.
You see there, Timmy Hill also moved by Ross Chastain to go into 2nd place. Kligerman, another one of those guys, really, really experienced on iRacing. Hasn't won one of our events yet, but very capable. Along with Timmy Hill, who has won a couple races here, or one race so far.
Smithley fourth, Earnhardt fifth, and Nemechek looking low. And Christopher Bell takes a spot from Landon Castle here. Castle kicked up high. Keselowski in the 2 going to come through on the bottom.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of discussions last week about most improved driver on iRacing being Brad Keselowski as we ride on board here with Denny Hamlin. Denny has been really fast at Dover in all the practice sessions and races run in advance that some of these drivers do during the week leading up to the events. Heard he's been blinding fast, our fastest qualifier. But Brad Keselowski, what a great job he's done by improving since we started doing iRacing. Week 1 did not go so well for him, and now look at him, a consistent top 10 runner.
Another driver who's had a great season in iRacing. Here's Regan Smith.
Great paint scheme, pulling back the Barney Visser number 78 car that Regan drove at one time.
Oh, wait, you want to see retro paint schemes? Wait till next week. Not Sunday, but Saturday. We'll tell you where we're going at the end of the show. It's going to be fun. You're going to want to bring your retro gear. How's it going out there, champ?
Guys, do we have a hot dog break in this race? Because I think I'm going to need one here already. It's not going good. I got hung on the outside early on. I found my way almost to the back. I see a couple cars back behind me still, and they're not the leaders yet, so that's the good news. But this is a challenging race right now.
Yeah, Regan, I tried to talk to you to get to the bottom as quick as you could. You got hung up in the outside. I am curious. We're watching you, and you're in a gaggle of cars, and we know aerodynamics are a big key to racing, and being that far back, what does it feel like in iRacing?
Yeah, I definitely can feel a difference. All my practice was done basically by myself out front. You get behind these guys, and it certainly feels like there's not as much grip with these cars right now.
Well, hang in there. You've got Almirola behind you and Yaley.
We're going to keep them back there. I'm not going to go to last. Not going to let it happen. Not on TV, Mike.
All right, 12 green flag laps. Kligerman, Hill.
Oh, saw one get up high there in 3 and 4. No caution.
Nope, and no contact with the wall either. So the race goes on. We've been green now for 13 laps at the start of this.
And Mike, you know, one thing I was going to point out, you saw there with Larry McReynolds' analysis as Timmy Hill, oh, there is a caution now, comes off turn 4. I thought he almost got the wall there, but it says he had to check up. What big wreck down here.
I saw Corey LaJoie involved. Kevin Harvick was part of that.
That's down the back straightaway. We talk about how this racetrack just funnels cars. If you make contact, it funnels those cars down to the inside, and it is hard to avoid tearing your race car up really bad.
Now, over the course of our series, iRacing has improved their damage modeling on these cars. That may not be good news for some of these drivers, like Daniel Suarez, who has it at both ends from this multi-car pileup.
All I can say, Mike, is you don't want to get caught in the fence. I found out what that was like last week.
You were up. Well, you were up there.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, it's pretty miraculous. It actually got me back to pit road within 9 minutes, but pretty much took me out of the race too.
Okay, Chad Fincham was involved in that in the 49, Brennan Poole in the 15 with damage. Let's see what happens here. Watch Suarez.
Yeah, the number 96 car looks like he just got loose off of turn 2. And that's what I said. It brings you to the inside wall and makes contact, comes back up in front of Fincham. Benedetto is involved there, I think. Oh, Jimmie Johnson, nice job slicing through there. Oh, man, Eric Jones barely getting through.
So in all, I've got 7 cars involved.
Reddick, looks like he was involved.
Looks like everybody's on pit road for 4 tires, as you guys talked about.
There's our Brady bunch of drivers under caution for the first time today at Dover. The NASCAR Foundation is working with Dover and the Bay Health Foundation to support frontline medical workers in the battle against COVID-19 in the Dover area. You can help. Make a donation. There's the address on the screen. Everybody made pit stops. One driver chose to take just 2 tires, that being Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, we talked about tires and fall off being very, very important. Denny Hamlin, who was really fast, started row 5. He decided to do some pit strategy. Larry Mack, what are you thinking about that?
Well, he's got a good race car, and I think even at this 1 mile track, Jeff, out front, clean air is king. So I think this could be okay, especially if you've got a good race car. If you don't have a good race car, it's not going to work.
Hey, Denny Hamlin. This is Jeff and Mike and Larry coming from the booth. Man, 2 tires. What are you thinking there? You got a good race car, and you're making some fast laps.
Yeah, I actually tested twice that exact amount of laps, tires, and a couple hundred slower first few laps, but it all equals out. So I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be a net gain by the time it's all said.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a smart move. I'm a little surprised maybe some other guys didn't go along with 2 tires with you, so should be fun to watch. Thanks.
Going green this time.
And we tried some strategy with Regan. We went on and put 8 tires on the 78 car.
But he's still not last. All right, Hamlin and Kligerman, Hill and Smithley, Chastain, Byron, Earnhardt, Nemechek, Bell and Castle, your top 10 as we come back to green at lap 19.
Pace cars off. Denny off to a great start. Remember, we heard these guys talk about how important it is to get down. You see William Byron stuck in that outside lane on the outside of Ross Chastain, looking to get to that inside lane.
Chastain's got to try to hold him out there. Christopher Bell with a peek to the inside as well. Chastain and Byron, that's not going to end here.
Boy, no, you saw Ross Chastain drive deep into the corner and almost got up into the side of 24 William Byron. Now William falls in behind him.
Nemechek in black and white with red lettering ahead of Earnhardt.
And Dale Jr., also another one of those guys got stuck on the outside. Here's our leader, Denny Hamlin, with those 2 tires, making it work right now. I think, you can see that Kligerman is a little bit faster. Denny is going to get almost to that inside quarter panel. Denny holding him off. Boy, he's going to fight hard for this. He's got to fight hard for that clean air, because that's what's going to make these 2 tires work against those other competitors. That was something I was going to say, Mike, before we had that break and the caution is, this, we talk about fixed setups. Larry, mentioned that this is a fixed setup. Every car is set up exactly the same. This is the one track that if I had my way of tweaking the setup, it would be Dover, because everybody's style of driving, how you run this track, the line that you run is a little bit different. The way you use the brakes, use the throttle, that would really be frustrating to know that you have the exact same
Whoa!
setup.
Hill turns Kligerman.
Boy, that's one of the guys that had an excellent shot. Not saying he's out of this thing yet, but who had an excellent shot at winning this race, was in great position, Parker Kligerman, before he and Timmy Hill got together.
You saw the first contact coming up off the corner, then going down into the next corner. Hill held the lane on the inside, and there just wasn't room for both of them. Second caution of the day. And let's go on board for the replay.
See, Timmy gets a big run. Kligerman goes down to try to block. Boy, Timmy did not check up early at all. I think both guys probably racing just a little bit too aggressively at this point in the race, but it was pretty clear both of them wanted that lane badly.
We've only run 4 laps. I would say they'll all be staying out right here.
Timmy did a nice job getting a run off of turn 4. Wow, man.
That's a low percentage pass there, Jeff.
It certainly is. And you could see Kligerman crowded him, hoping that he would check up, and here they are on pit road again.
Yeah, I told you they all be on pit road.
How's your pit crew or your pit strategy going with your driver there, crew chief?
Well, I don't know. We did make up a little bit of ground right there. I hope he'll stay out right here. Let's get some track position. If we just keep following the leaders, that's what we're going to do all day, is follow the leaders.
Larry Mack, I am sitting here in your pit box right now. Put 4 tires on this thing. I don't care. I want 4 tires right now.
I've heard that before. I want 4, I'm in, and I'm not leaving till you give me 4.
Things are getting a little brutal back here. I've used my fast repair, so I can't repair my race car anymore. I don't know how I managed to do that. So we're in a little bit of a safety mode right now. I figure 4 tires is the safest thing to do.
You didn't have to use your reset on the pace lap, did you?
It was shortly after that, Mike, unfortunately.
Okay. Just checking.
So, guys, the top 4 drivers did stay out. Byron, Castle, Logano, and Kurt Busch. Denny Hamlin, he'll restart 5th. He was the first one to pit road.
So 25 laps in of 150 here at the Monster Mile. Nice crowd for today's race.
Phenomenal
I guess the
crowd.
social distancing has been relaxed for today up in the virtual grandstand. When you go out in public, please wear a mask and please practice social distancing. The more of us that do so, the quicker we can get through this coronavirus situation. Speaking of which, Fox Sports is actively working to help those affected by the COVID-19 health crisis. We are proud to support Feeding America's commitment to serving communities and individuals facing hunger all across America. For more information on how you can help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Mike, I'm going to add some other drivers that stayed out. We've got quite a number, at least the top 9. We've got Bowman, Johnson, DiBenedetto, Michael McDowell, Daniel Suarez, who was involved in that first caution. So these guys that just hit pit road with only 4 laps on their tires, when they hit pit road, they're going to be starting well behind here.
So what you're saying, Larry, is that Regan could have been up in the top 10 had he only stayed out.
It's funny because I was talking to Regan before we went on air today, and I said, well, what are you thinking about tires? And he goes, every time that caution comes out, I'm coming to pit road to get 4.
Those practice races that I ran, Jeff, I'm telling you, the tires wore out quick, and it was much like you talked earlier in the show. It was like Dover in real life. They turned into basketballs, and they just want to bounce your teeth right out of your face. So give me 4. I'm fine with being back here for a little bit.
Okay, Regan, you're starting to sound like it's a real race, because that's exactly the way I would have described it in the real world.
Well, now that I get right into it, it is a real race. I want to beat these guys, but I want to do it. I want to do it at the end of the race, not right now. It's still too early for me here.
I love Mike. Mike says it best. The competition is real.
It is. It is. Landon Castle's going to restart on the outside pole. Some nice strategy there.
Yeah, I mean, I think 4 laps on tires. The next car with tires is 11th, 15th. So, you know, we're banking on maybe 20 laps and another caution, then we can all take 4. So it is a real race, Regan. It's just in the virtual world.
Yeah, maybe I'll become Landon Castle's crew chief.
Yeah, exactly. He'll listen to you, Larry.
I mean, tires are free. All right, good luck on this restart.
Good luck, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're going to go green this time. Byron and Castle on the front row. There's your running order on the left of the screen. Everybody is still on the lead lap, I believe with the exception of Corey LaJoie. We'll double check that. Who had a ton of damage on an earlier caution.
And I'm sure all those other competitors right now are looking at that 24 car leading this race going, wait a minute. He came all the way came from a few spots back. He's won 2 of these races already.
Yeah,
How did he get on the front row?
Him again? We'll see. 27 complete. Good thing Barney has a good orthopedic surgeon. There we go. We're back under green. Nice breakout by Kurt Busch in third, and Logano gets away from the scrum there for fourth.
Yeah, and Kurt Busch, you know, he said he thought things were going to go better since he started iRacing. So obviously there's something he's felt in the car that he's really liked, but just the races haven't gone his way. Now here he is in a nice position right on the rear bumper. Landon Castle riding on board with Kurt Busch.
Yeah, likewise Joey Logano, who's had his ups and downs and up and overs in this iRacing season.
Boy, you talk about ups and overs. All I can think about is Joey Logano in Dover when he did that barrel roll down the banking.
To update Corey LaJoie, he had 2 big crashes in the first 17 laps. Got his fast repair and then had to spend quite a bit of time on pit road to get another repair done to stay in the race.
I was so impressed with Corey LaJoie last week. That was his first race that he had run in iRacing. Won the pole position and finished second in the race.
Great job. There's Joey hard at work from 4th place.
There's a lot of action going on around Joey right now. He had check up off of turn 2 the last time, block Alex Bowman. This time he's got to go wide to let Alex Bowman go by.
Cost him a couple of spots there. as he tries to keep Timmy Hill behind him and Michael McDowell in the blue car.
We already saw Timmy Hill make a pretty aggressive move that brought out our caution. It looks like he's pretty aggressive behind the 22 Logano again. And here's Jimmie Johnson. Here's a guy that knows how to get around this racetrack. Oh, we got Kurt Busch. Looks like he got shuffled up out of the groove. Oh boy, did you see DiBenedetto get sideways down on the apron into turn 1?
Oh, Kurt Busch sliding around up there has lost the handle. Now here comes Hamlin on the way back. This is for about 14th. I'll make it somewhere on there.
Yes,
13th now.
And Suarez putting a lot of heat on Denny Hamlin with a little contact into turn 3.
Good battle here for 14th. Junior looking low, and DiBenedetto not going to give him any room down there if he can help it.
Yeah, DiBenedetto is one of those cars that stayed out on that last caution, so a little bit fresher tires for Dale Jr. He's just got to be patient, work his way through there. Those guys should start to fade a little bit.
Alex Bowman, last week's winner, had a look to the inside of Landon Castle there. Larry, I guess it really all depends on how many consecutive laps this goes under green.
Yeah, and you see Timmy Hill, Mike, in that 66 car who has moved up to 4th. He pitted the last caution, but what they elected to do is others, they just took 2 tires. So they've got fresh right side tires, plus they kept a little track position, and he's definitely on the move right there, Timmy Hill in the 66.
Yeah, Landon Castle's going to get moved to the outside, lose several positions here.
Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Matt D. Looks like he might have got a watermelon from Ross Chastain. Top of your screen.
Yeah, very similar to what happened with Timmy Hill earlier with Parker Kligerman, but this time DiBenedetto is able to keep the car underneath him by catching that banking as it turned sideways. Looked like Ross Chastain cut him a little bit of a break at the last second.
It cost DiBenedetto 2 spots or more. Timmy Hill up for second now. Ian Bowman trying to chase down William Byron.
Yeah, now I'm curious to see what happens here. We've seen these two guys, Timmy Hill, as we're on board with Alex Bowman looking at the rear bumper of Timmy Hill as he's trying to track down our leader, William Byron. But William is what I see he's so good at is knowing how to manage that clean air and those tires. We saw where he was backing up to the field. Now that Timmy Hill is coming to second with fresher tires, you see William Byron picking up the pace a little bit. I'd like to go back here to the 37 to Ryan Preece, Mike. Remember, he started all the way in the back. He finished 3rd last week at Talladega, so he had to start from the rear just like Alex Bowman, and now he's up to the top 5.
Quite a drive back to the front for Preece.
It's so realistic. When I go on board here as we were with Ryan Preece, I mean, my hands start to sweat because I'm inside that race car, feeling that banking, and loading into that banking down into the corner, feeling the bumps, getting back to the throttle, and just knowing exactly how the grip level is going to go as we see the caution come out.
All right, we'll come back and sort this out. Caution's out with 41 laps. That is Gigi helping Timmy Hill today from Port Tobacco, Maryland. So a home game for Timmy Hill at Dover. Show you a little bit of pre-race from the Hamlin household. This is Denny going around finding all available TV remotes and putting them in a safe place so as not to interrupt it. That's a lot of TVs. Of course,
we want to help out Denny, right?
Yeah, here's another one. Put this one in the box.
My remote's bigger than y'all's remote. I got him covered here.
I got my hands full over here. I do have a remote, though, but I'm about to run into the back of Ryan Blaney as I show
hold
it.
Hold on to yours. Yeah. You're going to need that. You're the only one that needs one.
Regan, leave your remote alone. I got you covered right here.
Thank you, Larry Mack. I know this, guys. We have got to find a fan for this room in here. It's hot. I'm channeling my inner Hasselhoff right here. Shirt's open. I am sweating right now.
You got all the buttons unbuttoned that you can, right?
That's right.
All right. You're on board with Dale Jr., who will restart in 11th. We're under caution. We're wondering why. Happened back at lap 41, just before we went to break. Turns out we don't have a good replay of it. It was Eric Jones and Kyle Busch got together and crashed to bring out the third caution of the day.
And Mike, everybody hit pit road and took 4 tires except for the man leading the race. The 51 of Garrett Smithley went with 2 tires. So having about 14, 15 laps on those tires, this is going to be interesting here. I'm not sure about this call.
Well, if they start to fall off at 20 laps, Jeff, they better hope for a quick caution and hope it's not them.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you know, other than having clean air, we saw William Byron, that worked really well for him being out front. But if you can't maintain that clean air, you are going to go to the back.
Back to green. Garrett Smithley becomes the 5th different leader of this race, but not for long. There goes Byron to the inside.
Yeah, so you see those 4 tires versus 2 tires already making a big difference. And we typically, you know, here we are, lap 46. We typically see a portion of a race where all of a sudden long green flag runs start to happen. So if that happens for Garrett Smithley, he's got to take it easy, knowing he's got more time on those left side tires. You can't push too hard and eat those tires up even more than they already are. There's Timmy Hill. I love it. Once it's time to get serious and go racing, you got to put the cat somewhere where they can't get to the steering wheel or the dog.
I was trying to find a way to tie that to Tim Flock, who really raced in Cup races with a monkey, Jocko Flacco, in the car with him.
It still just blows my mind to hear, every time I hear you tell that story, Mike.
I was not there.
I know you weren't there.
But, you know, hey, anything to sell tickets.
Jeff, for the record, I was not there either. You know, guys, looking at our leader, William Byron, in that 24 car, of course, he's led a number of laps today. We've run 5 of these iPro Invitational events. He has led a total of 328 laps. All the others, 280 laps. Unbelievable.
He's definitely had a dominant performance since we've gone iRacing. And, you know, what's amazing to me about William Byron is he could actually credit being in the Cup Series and getting where he has in his career because of iRacing.
Jeff, it's a little, I've got to say, having been an observer here for quite a while, that it's a lot like when you burst on the scene back in 1992. You were really the first Cup driver that had been in a race car since age 6 and had tons of trophies before you ever got to the series, but got here at such a young age. You changed everything. And I think that's what they're going to say about William Byron in the years to come. He changed the game.
Absolutely, and I think William would probably attest to the same thing. Is that's all you knew. That's all you knew was getting behind the wheel racing, whether it's, you know, with a simulator or an actual race car. And if you're not good after making all those laps, then you're probably never going to be good as the caution is out.
Exactly. So 4th caution flag, lap 53.
Mike, I think we'll see a mixed bag of strategy here with only 7 laps on the tires. Probably some stay out, some do 2, some do 4.
See Kurt Busch gets down inside of Joey Logano. Ooh, tries to stay off of Joey Logano, almost loses it. Then they're 3 wide off of turn 2.
Oh, boy.
See DiBenedetto involved with that. I think
Kligerman again.
Kligerman. Oh, man,
Regan
Smith. Oh, no. Now, I would say it looked like you were getting a little bit of help from Kevin Harvick behind you.
I'm not sure who it was, but they cleaned me out. I got stopped for that wreck. I missed this one. They're wrecking on pit road in front of me even right now. It's getting out of control right now.
Regan, it's the pedal in the middle.
Oh, there is 3 pedals down here. That's a good point.
Go on. Regan, you don't have your long list of excuses. It's a glitch.
I tell you what, I do have a couple other excuses I haven't used yet. Some of them include the fact that I don't know where my controller just flew out. It flew onto the ground when I crashed, and I can't find. Well, there it is. I got it now. We're good.
It wasn't Kevin Harvick did get you at the end, but it was somebody else that didn't check up that turned you into that. No doubt, you did a great job slowing down for that wreck.
I saw Joey Gase back there, and I knew he wasn't looking like he was going to check up. And as I looked up there, I went wrecking with him. So that's all right. We'll sit here for a minute on pit road, get this thing fixed up, maybe try and stay on the lead lap here. I don't know, 5 minutes of repairs. I don't know if we can pull that off or not.
Chris Buescher involved, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch. Couldn't write all the numbers fast enough here.
Did you say Reddick?
Kevin
I think I saw
Harvick.
Reddick.
Yes, Tyler Reddick was part of it. Parker Kligerman. So that was a tough one. 7-car pileup.
Looks like our top 3 or 4 stayed out.
Yeah, now they have, what, Larry, 11 laps on their tires? Smithley, Bowman, Johnson, Logano.
Yeah, and the thing that's interesting about Smithley, remember, the last time to pit road, even though we only ran about 7 laps, he has very old left side tires. But, of course, Bowman, Johnson, Logano, a little fresher lefts and rights. So, and then we've got a lot of drivers right behind them that changed just 2 tires, which we kind of anticipated no more laps than they'd run.
Now, I know he knows. He's a veteran iRacer. He knows tires are free. Might want to get some. All right, there's Regan just ahead. Let's see him skillfully navigate all this. Or not. Welcome back to Dover. Garrett Smithley, Alex Bowman, Jimmie Johnson, Joey Logano will be your top 4 as we get ready for the restart after the 4th caution flag of the day.
Mike, the first driver to have 4 fresh tires is Denny Hamlin in an 11 car. He's all the way back in 11th position. The top 4 stayed out. About the next 6 or 7, 2 tires only. Denny, 4 tires.
Yeah, starting with William Byron. Those are the 2 tires. Then back to, as you mentioned, Larry, Denny Hamlin with the 4. And how about Jimmie Johnson?
11-time.
11-time winner at Dover. Having a good showing so far here today.
The 300 cars running 2, 3, 4. Bowman, Johnson, and Byron behind Garrett Smithley, your leader.
Motorsports got a good setup for today. I can't get over the focus in the way these drivers, we never get a chance to see them behind that helmet, right? Underneath that helmet inside the car to see kind of how they go about their business. And I think it's so cool to see a guy, 7-time champion, 11-time winner at Dover, and Jimmie Johnson. And I mean, he looks very focused, but very calm.
Wow, that's a pack. Here's Landon Castle in the 89 trying to get around Joey Logano.
Oh, Joey gets loose off of turn 4.
And saved it.
Yeah, he saved it. I think he made some contact with the inside wall, but continues on.
Denny Hamlin up for 9th behind Landon. One driver up in that front pack who is really motivated today, and that is Timmy Hill. It's a home game for Hill in the 66. He's from the state of Maryland. His dad, Jerry, was a driver in the Cup Series, ran a handful of races in either the 80s or the 90s. Have to double check with Russell here, but I did not know that Timmy Hill's dad had raced in the Cup Series.
Yeah, I know. We've had this discussion before. That's really cool. Obviously, you know, when you have that kind of experience, you can learn so much from it that when your son gets into racing, you can help guide them and give them experience in laps that's going to help them get to the Cup Series, as has happened for Timmy Hill.
How about that? It was the 1990s when Jerry Hill ran a few Cup races.
And Mike and Jeff, Timmy Hill in that 66 car up to third, he pitted that last time and did just 2 tires. Had a lot of drivers that did just 2.
Well, it's Sunday, and we have sent out to Sambo's for some crab cakes, and they are here. So why don't we take a Sunday Fox NASCAR Rank It Up. Jimmie Johnson has moved up to 4th ahead of Garrett Smithley, so it's Byron, Bowman, Hill, and Johnson the front 4.
You can see here William Byron gets by his teammate Alex Bowman. Timmy Hill follows through. This is quite a battle going on here. Ross Chastain and Jimmie Johnson. If I know Ross Chastain, he's got a huge smile on his face right now because he is having such a blast being in this event, being in that 6 car and battling with a champion, 7-time champion like Jimmie Johnson is. And he's got Dale Jr. right behind him. That's very cool.
Quite. Then Denny Hamlin and John Hunter Nemechek's he's been in the top 10 all day. Christopher Bell, Landon Castle. John Hunter to the inside on Hamlin. And
yeah, remember, these are our top 2 qualifiers. They started because of the invert 9th and 10th, but they have a lot of speed, and here they are together, probably on the similar tire strategy, trying to work their way back up front as Jimmie Johnson now to the outside. Dale Jr., oh, you can see how the car got really loose, similar to what happened with Joey Logano a few laps ago, but Dale Jr. able to keep it underneath them.
Now he and Hamlin battle.
And a lot of the aerodynamics of the side force and that side draft is a little bit different in iRacing, but what does happen as you come off the corner in the position that Dale Jr.'s in is you have to put a lot of extra wheel into it and pinch that exit off, and when you do that, it can swing the back end around as Dale Jr. now getting to the outside of Jimmie Johnson.
Closing in on halfway.
There was a slower car ahead of them. John Hunter Nemechek tried to go around him. Caution is out.
Yeah, I think that was residual from whatever happened to cause this 5th caution flag at lap 73. And there it is. J.J. Yaley's around with heavy damage at both ends.
Yeah, obviously, J.J. had an issue. He's rolling slow down the back straightaway as Jimmie Johnson and John Hunter Nemechek were side by side battling, went to go by that slower car. They made contact, and clearly there was more action that happened behind them to bring out this caution.
Yaley had front end damage from earlier.
I think a blown engine. She blowed up if Boyer was here.
Yep.
Oh man, right in front of a bunch of cars coming through there, nowhere to go.
Well, we always talk about how these are self-cleaning bankings, and they are after the wreck. But boy, that especially coming up off 2, Jeff, that the track appears to narrow up in a hurry. One car completely sideways leaves almost everybody nowhere to go.
Yeah, you're carrying so much speed and momentum. There's really only one groove here as we see these cars on pit road making some pit stops. But yeah, there's just nowhere to go, and you're going so fast you can't slow down to stay out of those incidences when they're right in front of you like that.
Corey LaJoie is going to stay out and be the free pass car, it looks like.
And Mike, you saw everybody hit pit road. You have to start now thinking about the second half of this race because we are right at halfway, and I do believe We'll check, but I think this is where everybody would have went with 4 fresh tires considering the number of laps we had run.
Well, we talked about Denny Hamlin hiding all the remotes because of what his daughter Taylor did last week. Inadvertently shut off his screen and he got booted from the game. That caught the attention of one of the greatest drivers in history, who on Wednesday night's show visited with Adam, Jeff, and Clint Boyer.
Hey, Mario, have you ever jumped on one of these simulation rigs? Have you ever been on iRacing before? Tried your hand?
Yeah, you know, I'm keeping that closer to my vest. As a matter of fact, if I'm ever invited or talked into getting to one of these races, I think I'm going to borrow Denny Hamlin's daughter. And,
that's a pretty good built-in excuse, isn't it?
She needs to be taken out of my misery. I'm going to give her the remote, you know. And, I think that may work. So you never know.
Mario Andretti, one of the greatest of all time. How about that?
I got to say, that was so cool. You know, we do these Wednesday night events where it's like an IROC type of event where we get so many stars of different series from all over the world. And we were so thrilled to be joined by Mario Andretti on that Wednesday night. And the fact that he follows so many of these events,
yes.
You know, on social media, he's amazing on social media, but he loves all forms of racing, including iRacing.
And we love him. What's ahead for Wednesday night?
Oh, we've got a special one this Wednesday. We're going to be doing a Chili Bowl special.
Wow.
Mike. Yeah, it's all night dedicated to Chili Bowl. We got all the superstars coming out, that the dirt racers, as well as some of our superstars that have been on Wednesday night's iRock events. So it's going to be quite a night. There's going to be heat races. There's going to be the C main, the B main, all the way to an A main. That should be really, really exciting.
So you're going to have that alphabet soup of qualifying races.
That's right. The alphabet soup is in effect. Small bowl
of soup, right? It'd be a cup, maybe not a bowl. All right, 76 to go here in Dover.
So we see there where Timmy Hill was able to get ahead of William Byron off of pit road. Any update there, crew chief Larry McReynolds?
Well, everybody did change 4 tires. And remember how an iRacing pit stop works. They're all within about a second window. But Jimmie Johnson in the 48, he fell all the way back to 11th because your pit stop time is determined a lot by how the driver gets in and out of the box. Obviously, his stop was about a second slower. That's why he lost so much ground. Everybody else right there in the 14-second range.
Wow. Here's your Toyota top performers. Timmy Hill up front. Denny Hamlin will restart 6th. Christopher Bell 10th. And Eric Jones 12th.
And just speaking from experience after that Talladega event, it's so easy to overshoot the pit box. And if you do, it just definitely takes some time to get reversed, get back into that pit box to get the work done. So there's a good chance that maybe something like that did happen with Jimmie Johnson.
Halfway, green flag. And Timmy Hill takes off. Nemechek on the outside in the 38.
Woo, that got really, really tight there between Alex Bowman. And here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the inside of Ross Chastain.
Boy, he really threw it into the corner, didn't he?
Oh, man, that.
Oh,
Jimmie Johnson
Jimmy.
to the inside.
That's a hard hit.
Yes, it was. No caution, though. Looks like he was just in a tight battle. Oh, there's the caution.
6th caution flag.
And
77.
We've seen this a lot. We saw it with Joey Logano. You just saw it there with Jimmie Johnson. If I had to guess as we go to look at this replay, he was just underneath somebody and battling in the back of the car, just stepped out ever so slightly where he could not keep it out of that inside wall. We talked about this, Mike, the funneling of cars from the outside groove to that inside wall. The bank corners lead to those bank straightaways.
So Chris Buescher and at least one other car got, all crashed up and spun up. Kligerman in that one. Plenty of racing left to go from Dover.
Big week ahead on NASCAR. NASCAR Race Hub. Tomorrow, the Hub team has you covered in dissecting all today's action from Dover. You won't want to miss one-on-one interviews with Eric Almirola and the rookie Tyler Reddick. Hear about Reddick's new life as a dad and how the Almirola family have accomplished the daunting task of homeschooling and still finding time for other types of learning. And don't miss a NASCAR Trivia Showdown. Think you know more than Team Mac Attack or Team RCR? Test your knowledge with a NASCAR Race Hub pop quiz. That's all this week, weeknights 6 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1.
I don't know who wins, but I know who won the contest of best wardrobe in that face-off. Race Hub, weeknights, 6 p.m.
You thought that was best?
Best of two. Let's show you what happened to Jimmie Johnson, Chris Buescher, and Parker Kligerman here.
Yeah, so it's really important to get as close to that apron as you can. You see Jimmie gets down on the apron, car gets a little loose. He catches it again as he comes to the exit of turn 4, and eventually that just pulls the back end around. He makes contact now up into Chris Buescher.
Whoa.
And Kligerman goes for one heck of a ride.
Dizzy. All right, we're going to go back to green with 68 to go. 6 caution flags so far, as Larry said, over, and over.
I see a battle in the brewing here, Mike. Timmy Hill, William Byron, those two names have been mentioned probably more than any other driver since we started doing iRacing.
And one of them is carrying payback in his pocket.
Yeah, even though William Byron has 2 wins, there was that one race at Texas where Timmy Hill got the best of him.
Bumper to bumper.
Using the chrome horn.
Looks like Nemechek make it up for 3rd here. Yes, he does.
And Bowman into the outside wall, a little damage.
Chastain gets to the inside but can't complete the pass. Here comes Hamlin on the outside. Longest green flag stretch today, 16 laps. I think we've got to improve on that.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, this is about that time. Well, it wasn't about that time when there was going to be a long green flag run, and there might not be. That might be the case today, where we just see these 15 and 16 lap green flag runs.
Hamlin chasing hard on Ross Chastain.
Nice
He's
run
got
off
to the
of
inside a
turn
couple
2.
of times, but this time he's going to get the spot.
And that's how it's done. That's textbook passing right there. Now Dale Jr. getting the momentum off of turn 4. Going to try to do the same thing down here, 1 and 2 at the bottom to Ross Chastain. Oh, you can hear him having to squeeze out of the throttle a little bit. Gets loose off of turn 2. Still has position though. Not going to be able to complete it yet. Ross Chastain fighting hard on the outside.
Christopher Bell looked inside of Landon Castle, who wasn't quite sure which driver to go with there.
Yeah, now Junior's going to complete that pass on Ross Chastain. Oh boy, Ross Chastain's still right there to his rear bumper though.
Crossover, almost the crossover move.
Brad Keselowski rolling slow on the apron.
He's just coming out of the pits, I hope. You know why I like the inside here, Jeff? 8 wheels corner better than 4.
Yes. That has always been the case at Dover. Well, pretty much anywhere. Oh man, that was a move that Landon Castle really had to think twice about the last second. See Christopher Bell there riding on board with him as he's working on Landon Castle. He's going to be one of our guys to race one of those dirt midgets on Wednesday night in that Chili Bowl event we're going to have. That should be fun. He's a guy that's won that event.
That should be a lot of fun. And next weekend, we are not racing on Sunday. This is the final event in our Pro Invitational Series, but we've got a special coming for you next Saturday from a very historic NASCAR racetrack. And no, it's not Darlington.
Mike, special's an understatement.
Yep.
Where we're going next weekend. That's very cool.
Long awaited and anticipated return. Boy, John Hunter Nemechek has driven a really nice race. Here he sits in third place, trying to run down some laps here. As we go back to about 15th, Preece and Suarez and Blaney. There's Nemechek looking back at Alex Bowman.
Mike, remember the last time we were on concrete with the iRacing, John Hunter Nemechek at Bristol finished second a few weeks ago.
That's right. You know, I'd ask Regan if the concrete surface on iRacing feels any different from asphalt, or I'd ask you, but you've not run on concrete, he's not run on asphalt.
Exactly.
I have to ask Larry, I guess.
Don't ask Regan nothing. We're focused on a top 25 coming
Hey,
here.
Regan, I just want to know, how's that car driving with no rear bumper on it? Usually that's a good thing, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you got all your spoiler.
Well, the good news is, Jeff, this thing is awesome through the corners. The bad news is I'm about 10 miles an hour off down the straightaway for some reason, so I think that's why it's so good in the corners
that
right
old
now.
spoiler, she's jacked up in the air. That's the reason you're going through the corners and not down the straightaways.
If we get a long run right here, that's part of my strategy. It'll help save the tires on this. I saw Mark Martin do this at Martinsville one year. I know it's going to work. Stick with me, guys. Come on.
Yeah, that's one of those bumper gate specials right there. Who was that with Bobby Allison? Was that Gary Nelson that created Bumpergate?
Not sure.
I'll have to look back. That was a while ago.
I believe it was, Mike. Yeah. Daytona 500, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Matter of fact, I talked with Rusty Wallace. We did an interview about our Bristol bump and run not too long ago, and he and I started laughing about a Charlotte race where I was getting ready to go a lap down. He was lapping me, and I spin. He takes off my rear bumper, and my car came to life. This is before NASCAR started saying you have to have a rear bumper on that race car, because we came back, and I don't know if I won the race, but boy, we were one of the fastest cars on the track after that. Yep. I think we finished second.
You were Bumpergate too. That's for sure. All right, Dale Jr. loses a spot to Ross Chastain. That's sixth place that just changed hands there. And here comes Christopher Bell inside of Landon Castle with Smithley and Jones looking on.
Going on board here, Eric Jones in the gyro cam. The one thing about Dover, there is no place that's flat. You can see just how banked these corners are. But watch, even when you get on the straightaway, how much banking there is. You never actually get flat. And that's what we talked about, Mike. Everything funneling down to the inside wall if you do spin out or if there is a wreck. It's because, heck, there's more banking on the straightaways here at Dover than some racetracks that in the corners that we go to.
Benny Parsons once had a seat mount brake 100 miles into a 500-miler at Dover. He had to hold himself in the seat the final 400 miles, and he said the worst thing about it was that scoring pylon in the center of the infield. Every time he looked over, there were always too many laps left. But he finished the race.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, those guys like Benny Parsons, those are some tough race car drivers. Here's a tough battle going on up here up front. William Byron trying to take the lead back from Timmy Hill, and is going to do so. Still a long way to go, though. 50 laps to go. Longest green flag stretch we've had, Mike, of the day.
Yep. Ty Dillon going a lap down there. Larry, they're going to need one more stop, right?
No, they can make it, Mike. They can make it on fuel. We went back racing next to the last caution with 74 to go, but I will say this. There's not going to be a lot left of those 4 Goodyear tires if this thing should run out green.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that may have been a strategy move right there for Timmy Hill. He may be thinking about that right front tire, especially of those right sides, because they do wear, and they can wear all the way down to the cords if you abuse them too much. And we know what happens after you wear them down to the cords. Then they just start losing air.
Rapidly.
Rapidly, and grip.
Yeah, we've been back racing now close to 20 laps, and already a full second give up on the stopwatch from when we went back racing to right now.
What you think about that, right? A full second on a 1-mile racetrack. That's a lot of fall. That's a lot of tire wear, and just goes to show you how abrasive this racetrack is.
So Regan, what happens to the car's handling when those tires go away?
Well, this is right about the moment, Mike, where it starts to go away. And I don't know where he's running right now because he's so far in front of me I can't tell. But Denny Hamlin in all the practice races, he was great at going fast but still saving the tires. He was really quick at the end of all the practice runs. So I don't know. I might put my money on him if we're going to pick winners right now.
Well, he's 4th right now with 46 to go. So when the tires go away, does your car go push? Does it go loose? Combination?
It does everything. It's loose in, it's tight in the middle.
Oh,
it
no.
has no grip. It's all over the place. But yeah, they lose overall grip, and the race car, much like it does at the real Dover, it just feels like you're on top of the racetrack. And what that means is it slides around. It's almost like if you air your bicycle tires up to 100 pounds of air, and it just doesn't feel good as it travels across the road.
Regan, I got your back as your crew chief. You know when our car got off when we unloaded it this morning.
I've never heard a crew chief. He just took my back right
I
there.
got
This
you
is
back.
awesome.
I
This
got
is
you
not
back.
the Larry Mack that I know. I love this right now.
We got Bowman clipping Suarez. Well, you saw Alex Bowman was having some issues. I don't know if it was some of that damage that he had as the caution comes out. Had some damage. He got into the wall a little bit earlier, but the car was really starting to lose speed, lose handling. And then right there, you saw Suarez come up off the corner.
When you hear that engine, it just doesn't sound good.
It's hard to say if Bowman came down and clipped Suarez or if Suarez was coming up a little bit. Clearly, they made contact.
7th caution flag. And here's a look at it. Oh, I don't think Suarez knew he was there.
Yeah, maybe didn't know. He thought he was clear maybe, but he just came up a little bit, and Bowman was still there. Well, Kyle Busch, he's hit everything but the pace car today.
Regan, let's pit, please.
Yeah, and I've not seen Kyle get involved in an accident, but it seems like he's been caught up in quite a number of them.
None of his doing.
He's in the top 20. 27 cars on the lead lap, back to Regan Smith. Then Chad Fincham would be the free pass car. Kevin Harvick another lap down. J.J. Yaley another lap down. And Joey Gase and Ty Dillon. Keselowski, Kligerman, Buescher, DiBenedetto.
Looks like everybody's, at least those leaders, got clean into their pit box.
Yeah, Jeff, to add to getting in your pit box, it's my understanding until you position your car in the right place in that box, they can't start the pit stop.
Yeah, that's right, Larry. There's a sweet spot for when the pit sign goes up and you know the work's going to start to be done. But like I was mentioning earlier, you can overshoot that by 6 inches or a foot very, very easily.
Under caution for the 7th time today at virtual Dover International Speedway, William Byron, your leader. NASCAR has not been to historic North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway since 1996. It hosted some great races back in the day, and the final one was won by that young fellow. Well, NASCAR's going back there with iRacing. A Fox iRacing special Saturday, 3 p.m. on Fox, North Wilkesboro. Dale Earnhardt Jr. led a group of volunteers up to clean up North Wilkesboro so that iRacing could scan it and measure it back in December. And it's not yet been released for consumer use, but we've got it for next Saturday. Bring your throwback paint schemes and let's go to Wilkes County.
Now, Mike, I got to tell you, I said Talladega is the only race that I'm going to do in iRacing. I don't know. That news is exciting. I may have to come back for North Wilkesboro.
Wow.
I mean, come on. I won the last race there.
Right.
I must know something about that place.
All right. Well, practice, practice, practice.
We'll see. We will see.
Larry Mack's got a win there.
Yeah, I know all about tire give up at that place. It starts losing seconds under the pace laps.
I wonder how they're going to do. One straightaway goes uphill, the other goes downhill at Wilkesboro, because the track is not built on a flat piece of land.
Well, based on everything else I've seen iRacing do, it's going to look very realistic and race very realistic.
Can't wait. Next Saturday, 3 p.m. Here's your progressive race summary. 27 cars are somehow still on the lead lap. We've had 10 lead changes, 7 caution flags, and William Byron out in front since lap 100. The third time he has led today.
And Mike, just to set up the strategy, is we're probably going to go racing with about 36 laps to go. Everybody pitted that time, and everybody took 4 tires because, to your point, we just had come off the longest green flag run that we'd had in this race.
Thanks, Larry. Getting ready to go green.
And we've been talking a lot about the 24 of William Byron, the 66 of Timmy Hill, but right behind them, row 2, John Hunter Nemechek, as well as Denny Hamlin. I think these guys are going to put a lot of heat on those 2 front runners right now.
It'll be 37 to go as they take the green. Castle had a brush with the wall there as Byron, Hill, Nemechek, and Hamlin get away. Christopher Bell, he's perfected that drop to the bottom to the inside, not pass him before the start-finish line move on these restarts.
Mike, those shots that I just saw there, I mean, I thought last week at Talladega looked realistic. This is, to me, the most realistic race that we've run here on Fox. This is pretty amazing.
I agree, Jeff. The look of Dover is just like being there.
And just like in Dover, it is not immune to caution flags and some big wrecks. Oh no, Regan Smith.
It's not going good in here, guys.
That looks like some terminal engine damage right there, Regan.
This is yet another wreck. I got pushed into it. This time it was our champion, Kyle Busch. Kyle, what are you doing?
Regan no longer is our spoiler way up in the air.
I got a feeling it's completely gone.
Regan, does that thing have any coolant in it?
I know a guy that once ran a car out of coolant. That was a really bad story.
Yeah, it's an inside joke, folks. We'll spare you.
He knows them all too well.
Yep.
I think it's the same guy that might have crashed 15 times today here.
But are you having fun?
I am having a blast.
All
I just
right.
finally almost had my car repaired so I could go race with these guys, and now we're having to start over.
That's all right. I believe you're still on the lead lap. We'll double check when they come around here with 35 to go. 8 caution flags. Barney's been getting a workout here.
Yes, he has. Yeah, the monster is chewing them up today. Boy, isn't that the truth. This place eats race cars and drivers for lunch,
yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I'm wondering about Denny Hamlin and just wondering, what can you do here in iRacing to save tires at Dover?
Well, one thing you can do, or what I think you must do, is get down in that inside lane as soon as possible. I think the harder that you try to run that longer line around this racetrack and battle with somebody on the outside, the quicker those tires are going to go away.
Denny Hamlin got the free pass, so he's back on the lead lap and will be the next to last car on the lead lap behind Regan Smith. Denny Hamlin in, will line up fourth for the restart. Denny, what can you do in iRacing to save tires on a track like Dover?
There's some little things you can do here and there. I really wanted that long green flag run there. My tires were in great shape, and I mean, this outside line stinks. I need to get down. I feel like head to head, I can race with them. I just got to get in line and get a good start.
So Denny, I thought that was interesting. I was looking at your lap times on that long run, and boy, yeah, you were like a tenth or more faster than some of the competitors. So what is it that you're doing, if you can give up some of those secrets, that you're doing to get that much speed towards the end of the run?
Really it's, making sure I just don't get erratic with the throttle. It's just the style that I use in real life. tires here as well. So love this thing to just go green.
All right. Well, good luck with it there.
Yeah. And it's interesting that, you know, Denny compared iRacing to, you know, what he does and the way he drives, because he is very good at saving tires in a race car, and that throttle application and the way that you use the steering and the brakes and all those things really can play out to how they abuse that one corner of the race car or that tire.
And Steve Myers and the folks in Boston have got to be very gratified to hear this, because this validates what they've been doing with this iRacing platform to make the experience of iRacing on a very specialized track like Dover be as realistic as possible. When a champion like Denny Hamlin says, here is what I'm doing and it's just what I would do in the race car, well, the proof is right there.
Absolutely. That's all you need. And they should be commended. They've done a phenomenal job.
Well, we're back to the track in 2 weeks, not virtually, but for real. Woohoo! Darlington Raceway plays host to the Cup Series. Sorry, fans, but we'll have it for you at 3:30 Sunday, May 17th on Fox. And then the Xfinity Series follows on Tuesday, and the Cup Series is back at Darlington again on May 20th. That's Wednesday evening on FS1. Then NASCAR's National Series all moved to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coca-Cola 600, 6 p.m. on Fox on May 24th, with Trucks, Xfinity, and another Cup race on the Charlotte Oval to follow in rapid succession the following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. NASCAR is back.
It's back, and we're going to be busy. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited about that. Seeing some real race cars, but boy, this virtual racing, sim racing, and iRacing has been a lot of fun too.
If you're watching for America's Day at the Races, that's beginning now over on FS2, and we'll transition over once iRacing is complete. 31 laps to go. Back under green, Byron, Hill, Nemechek, Hamlin, Bell. Your winner likely among the top 5 right now.
You saw Denny Hamlin make some good moves there to get down in that inside lane. Had a battle with Christopher Bell as Bell was trying to get to the inside, but he was able to prevail. So that'll help with those tires as we got 30 laps to go.
30 to go, Larry. Dare I ask?
Well, what I did, Mike, is I looked back at the last 10 spring Dover Cup races, and the final caution happens roughly in the last 12%. So for today's iRacing 150-lap race, somewhere around 18 laps to go. And in those 10 races, Mike, we had 2 overtime finishes. And think about our 5 Pro Invitational iRacing events. We've had overtime 3 of the 5 races.
Thanks, Larry.
Somebody got contacted on the outside wall.
Now it is up to iRacing when to throw the caution. The cautions are manually triggered. So an incident in the back of the pack at this stage of the race likely would not bring out a yellow flag. Jimmie Johnson, Kurt Busch, 12th place. With Michael McDowell.
I just love how the cars drop down into the banking. They take that little leap, and that's just like the car would react when you're there. You go over these bumps right here into turn 3. It's much bumpier into turn 3, not as much in turn 1, but you do have one big set, one big bump that we see as these cars right here. William Byron, right there, you just see that little compression as they drop off the banking, off the straightaway into the banking.
They're going to lap Kevin Harvick here, who got back on the lead lap but did not have enough time to spend in the pits to repair all his damage. I'll tell you who did and has made quite a comeback from the tail end of the field after having both ends of his car torn up. 2 crashes in the first 17 laps, but Corey LaJoie, last week's runner-up, has fought his way back up into 13th position from that.
Well, and look at that race car. I mean, the back of it's torn up pretty good. That spoiler cannot be as efficient as it once was, or what it could be. He's got some damage to the left side also, so great job by Corey LaJoie. 2 appearances in iRacing. He won the pole last week at Talladega, finished 2nd in the race, started at the back this week. They're doing a great job battling back after some damage.
7th place on back. Eric Jones, Ross Chastain, Dale Earnhardt Jr. And here's Bell looking at the inside of Hamlin. Nothing there.
And again, I think back to what Denny Hamlin talked about. You know, he's in a good position. He's in third position, but he does not want to use up those tires. If he can hold Christopher Bell behind him and in this position, he's going to have an advantage if this goes green all the way to the end. But boy, Bell's putting a lot of pressure on him right now.
And we apologize for the audio, trying to hear Denny as he was telling us his secrets for saving tires. Don't know if the Joe Gibbs people had an intercept on that phone line or not. Probably did.
That's a good point.
Probably did.
I was expecting us to not get anything out of him. We started to get it, and then it was breaking up. So
well, he told us. We just didn't hear it. Yeah.
Mike and Jeff, there's no question here. With 20 to go, the cream has went to the top. You look at the top 3. They have won 4 of our 5 Pro Invitational iRacing events. William Byron with 2, Timmy Hill and Denny Hamlin with 1 each.
And Larry, people have asked, well, what about point standings? Folks, we don't care. There are no point standings. This is invitational for fun. We didn't want the drivers to feel like they were obligated to compete every week. And that's why no points, no problem.
Yeah, we don't want to take the fun out of it. Boy, this battle's still heating up.
Yeah.
I just, you know, Christopher Bell being one of these guys that he loves iRacing. He's got a lot of laps and experience on, but has not won one of these Pro Invitational races. He knows those 3 guys ahead of him have. He wants to put his name into the victory column. And I think he knows he's got to first get this move made here pretty quickly on Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Jeff, he's not even had a top 10 finish in those first 5 races, and he's working here on the top 5.
18 to go, Larry. Hold your breath.
I've been holding it since the drop of the green.
Now, where was it? Richmond, where Timmy Hill trailed William Byron and got so close to him, but not enough to make the move to get the lead back in the closing laps of the race.
Well, and I just wonder, Mike, because, you know, Timmy Hill used the bumper to move William Byron out of the way to win that race in Texas. And I just wonder if he kind of gave him a little bit of a break there in Richmond. But now that William Byron has a couple of wins under his belt, I don't think Timmy's going to be quite so kind.
Nope. If he can get to it.
If he can get there, exactly.
Sparks going to fly.
Boy, there's a little bit of a surprise as they were going by John Hunter Nemechek. He was a guy that really was right in the battle, running strong, and now has some damage and falling back.
He's now fallen off the lead lap.
Whoa, he got into Denny.
Big crash out of turn 4.
Oh, man. That was so unfortunate. You saw his car bobble. Something happened. Caution is out as John Hunter Nemechek was having an issue and then got into Denny Hamlin. Boy, that's a bummer for Denny.
And Larry was right.
Didn't miss it by much, did I?
No, you didn't.
Jeez.
Pretty close.
No, you didn't, Larry.
I'm going to tell you a call I would not want to make right here, because they now have 18 laps on their tires, and we're going to go back racing with less than 10. Somewhere, somebody's going to be a sitting duck. I don't know if I see those top guys hitting pit road. I think even with those number of laps on the tires, and we've got so many drivers still on the lead lap, I would not want to be making this call right now.
Boy, this is going to be a tough call.
Well,
you see Dale Jr. caught up in that wreck.
Yep.
Heavy damage.
And wait till you see the replays, folks. Denny Hamlin is going to wish somebody had the remote in their hand to save him from what just happened.
Yeah, this is the wreck that never ends.
No, John Hunter Nemechek, apparently the car stopped turning, wouldn't hold the bottom of the racetrack. He was trying to get off track down to the pits.
Those leaders come to pit road. So here he goes, Denny Hamlin to the outside, John Hunter Nemechek. You can see the damage to the left side. The car gets loose, then disappears.
Guys, I think that actually goes back to something that I saw out of my windshield on pit road way down in turn 1. Denny actually got into John Hunter underneath him and spun him as they went into turn 1 earlier on.
Oh,
that's
boy.
What actually caused it. That was a little retaliation,
boy.
John Hunter there.
Yeah, and that makes sense as to why that car disappeared.
It went straight, but it went straight because he wanted it to.
Okay.
Boy, all the cars on pit road.
Look at this junkyard that's out here behind the pace car. Tyler Reddick, I think he's lined up for the free pass, perhaps. And to the inside is Ryan Sieg.
Definitely looks like
Joey Gase,
we
rather.
had some strategy, Mike. I think we had a few drivers that elected just to grab 2 tires only, try to grab this track position, because, again, we're going to go back racing with less than 10 to go.
So that's Joey Gase right behind the pace car. I see Austin Dillon and what looks like J.J. Yaley now coming around the outside. Looking for, they're looking for wave arounds. I'm sorry, apologies to Ryan Sieg. He's not even in the race. So certainly that was not him, but rather the Joey Gase car.
You know, Mike, we've always had a theory that with less than 10 to go, you want to restart inside the top 4. And ironically, Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley, Landon Castle, Ross Chastain, that will be the top 4, but with only 2 fresh tires on those cars.
Oh.
If you look, you know, here we're showing our running order on our pylon as well as the fastest laps. Look how close these times are. You have Timmy Hill to 22.400, then Smithley was a 39.9. And this goes to show you some pit strategy. That number underneath 14 seconds. So William Byron looks like the first car with 4 tires. Larry was mentioning some guys took 2, some took 4. There you go.
Yep.
That goes to show you the top 4 taking 2 tires.
Nice drive for Eric Jones today, up for 7th. Ryan Blaney at 8th. Michael McDowell got bounced around a couple of times, recovered for 9th. Bowman, we talked about LaJoy, who's in 11th, and Eric Almirola in 12th. Bobby Labonte, 13th.
All right, all that talk about being patient, saving tires, that's gone. That's out the window. Yeah, these top 4 guys, got to worry about those guys with 4 tires, but those guys with 4 tires are going to be coming fast and furious.
So we go to North Wilkesboro next Saturday. Of all the drivers on the virtual track today, I think only one has ever raced a Cup car at North Wilkesboro. Bobby Labonte.
I was going to say how many of these guys were born.
Well, there's that. You're right. Now that'll be on Fox and FS1 Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Wow, that's so exciting.
I can't wait to see the retro paint schemes. See what everybody comes up with for Wilkesboro. Boy, that used to be Junior Johnson's playground in Wilkes County. Darrell always said, he said, you go to Wilkesboro in Junior's car, you better win.
Well, I just think of the buzz in, from fans, from competitors, just, motorsports in general, how badly they've been wanting to host a race at North Wilkesboro. And boy, kudos to iRacing to be able to pull this off.
It's still got the Holly Farms signage, First Union Bank, remember them? Winston Cup, it's all there.
Very cool.
All right, let's go green with 10 to go and see if Timmy Hill, Garrett Smithley, Landon Castle, Ross Chastain can get to victory lane.
First thing Landon Castle's going to have to do here is hold William Byron behind him. Oh, Williams there.
Whoa!
Oh, man.
Landon is there.
Boy, nobody, like I said, patience out the door. Nobody's checking up on anything right now. And you could see out of the mirror William Byron making that move to get to the inside Landon Castle. He tried to block it. William was not going to check up, moves him into second. Pretty much takes Landon out of this event.
And here then is the long anticipated William Byron behind Timmy Hill for the win. What will they do?
I can tell you what William's going to do if he gets close to him on the last lap. He's going to remember what happened in Texas.
Might not take that long. Timmy Hill is in the race of his life right here. And Byron's coming.
These guys have put on a great show today. I mean, the professionalism, their experience level, talent level has really shown out. Boy, there goes William to the inside. Not quite there, though.
No contact.
Oh, he's there now, though. I think Timmy's going to have to give him some room. There goes William with those 4 fresh tires going to the front, back to the lead.
And Jeff, I'm proud of the way he did it. There was no bump and run. He just Outdrove him into the corner, held the bottom, took the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a different track than Texas, right? The way Texas, that turn 1 and 2 is so flat. Sometimes, you're protecting more than anything else. And here's Texas on the right, that race where we saw Timmy Hill move William Byron. This race is not over yet, though, either. But at this racetrack, I think, with this many laps to go, there was an opportunity. And this is now back to Richmond on our right. What happened a few weeks ago where William Byron had the lead. Timmy Hill made an attempt to get there, but not quite there. Now here comes Christopher Bell to second place.
Christopher Bell's done a great job today. And now he's within 4/10 of leader William Byron. 5 to go. Eric Almirola up into the top 10. Denny Hamlin gave up a spot there to Michael McDowell, back to 6th for Hamlin. Eric Jones has moved up to 4th.
And right here for William Byron, he's got to be aggressive. He's got to get back to the throttle, get that car turned low as he can to get straight up off the corner, but not get into that outside wall. Same thing for Christopher Bell. The only difference is Christopher Bell has a little bit of an aerodynamic disadvantage being behind William Byron. He wants to get up there, close in if he can, and force William Byron to make a slight mistake.
Now 2 to go. Not sure if that lapped car up ahead, or about to be lapped car, going to be a factor or not. I think Bell's got to get a little closer for that to come into play.
But great job by Eric Jones, too, recovering and being in the 4th position right now. That was the white flag, 1 lap to go.
I think Barney missed. Was Barney waving that? I didn't see it, but here we go. William Byron trying to win for the 3rd time. Drops low on Austin Dillon. And Christopher Bell will get that close within a 1/4 of a second. Byron.
The concentration finally breaks on William Byron's face, and the joy and excitement of winning another iRacing event starts to show up. That's awesome.
3rd victory. He's the only driver with multiple wins in this series. He's won 3 of the last 4. His best Cup finish at Dover so far, though, is 8th. William Byron the winner. Here's Papa John's delivering the win. William Byron's pass for the lead for the final time. We'll be right back. Welcome back to iRacing at Dover. William Byron the winner. Time to make the donuts, and we salute Cops and Donuts. The 100-year-old bakery in Clare, Michigan was going to close. The 9 members of the police department bought it, and it's a huge success. They now have 4 locations, and their signature treat is a 15-inch diameter donut. Randy Woodbury races their factory stock at Merritt Speedway in northern Michigan. For details, go to copsdonuts.com. You can't make this stuff up.
So that's sort of a life-size version of the donut there on the door of the police car.
There you go.
Very cool story.
William Byron, 3 of the last 4. Wow. William, great run, great race, and a nice clean pass of Timmy Hill for the lead. Great to see.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was fun. We had to go on that restart. We had 4 tires, and unfortunately, the strategy made us to where we knew we were going to be back in the pack on that last restart. So it was just all about getting clear. And then once we got to Timmy, I knew we had better stuff, and just had to work them over for a couple corners. But it was fun. Enjoyed it. Definitely, I've enjoyed this iRacing series that we've had going, but definitely ready to get back in my normal car as well. But this has taught me a lot in the last few weeks, so it's been fun.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, William. I mean, you've been so dominant here. I would imagine your confidence is sky high as we've had this break. But we're going back racing, and we're going to Darlington, which is such a difficult racetrack. I mean, how much has all this kept you sharp and in the game, and that confidence, is that going to carry over to the real racetrack?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's racing anything, whether it's a box car or anything with really an engine. is going to give you confidence if you're winning. So it's a lot of fun for me. I've really enjoyed it. I've learned a couple things that I could tune with my driving style for certain racetracks. Honestly, I've never been in such a competitive environment for weeks on end on iRacing. So this is new to me as well. The pit strategy, the restarts, everything is more intense. So it just it's taught me a couple things for those tracks. Dover, Bristol, even all the tracks we've ran. So excited for Darlington when we go back. I think it's going to be a really fun race for us.
Well, let me get your take on this. When we go to Darlington in 2 weeks, no practice, no qualifying, your very first lap on the track is going to be lap 1 of the race, the green flag. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've only done that one other time in my career. Actually racing in the K&N Series, I didn't get any practice at Dover, and it was the final race for the championship, and we just had to start cold turkey. So it honestly, you have to lean on, the GM simulator, Chevrolet, but also iRacing, because there's literally no practice. So going into that first corner is going to be an unknown, but I know Chad and the guys are going to bring an awesome race car, and really that's all I can count on is that, and hopefully we can have a really good run.
Well, we're all looking forward to getting back to the track, and good luck down there in South Carolina. All right, Timmy Hill joins us after a second-place finish. And did you have anything with which you maybe could have held off William Byron on that last run?
User left your channel.
Hey, guys. Man, I wish I could have had some time with some of the guys that took 2 tires with me. And when William Byron put that move down, those guys kind of slipped the track and wrecked. It just gave them a clear opportunity to run me down. I just wish I had a couple laps where William was held up on 4 tires. I knew as soon as he got clear to those guys, I was a sitting duck on 2 tires. But it was a lot of fun. I felt like we had a really, really, really good roofclaim.com Toyota. So we came up short again. William's done a great job throughout this iRacing Pro Invitational. So hats off to him. Congratulations. I just want to come up with that win again.
Well, Timmy, you've done a pretty amazing job on these Pro Invitational iRacing events, too. We just talked about how, and we were talking about this with William, we're going back real racing at Darlington here in a couple weeks, and that exciting news. You've got a lot of confidence coming out of these events, and how is this going to carry over for you when we go back to Darlington?
It's going to be huge. I've had such a tremendous support from everybody in the racing community. It goes for our team. It goes for several other teams. I'm looking forward to getting back to real racing, seeing all of our friends in the racing community. Man, this iRacing Pro Invitational has been a blast. But it's really brought us all together. We've really had a lot of fun running these races, and I think it's really brought us all together. And I can't wait to get back, see everybody's faces, get back real racing at Darlington. That's gonna be a blast. I love Darlington, so I can't wait to get back.
Well, neither can we. We'll see you there in 2 weeks. Thanks to Larry McReynolds and our onboard reporter. We beat up Regan Smith a bunch today. iRacing coming up Wednesday night. The Chili Bowl, and next Saturday, North Wilkesboro on Fox. Next on Fox, the 95 NFC Championship game.